average person would not wish to buy a home, I think is completely wrong. And I'll share with you from my personal experience. Frank had indicated my assuming this position, and it really is 1 year since I accepted the position and moved from Sarasota, Florida to Parsippany, New Jersey. You can feel sorry for me. And as you probably heard, real estate wasn't that great in Florida. So I left my wife behind to sell a home, and I had to come up to New Jersey, so I signed an annual lease on a property and moved into it. But because I had to own real estate, we bought a home site up there with the idea that once the home sold in Florida, we got up there and settled, we'd eventually build. Well, so bottom line is I've been a renter for a year. My wife has joined me, been with me for the last 9 months up here. And I can tell you, I quickly came to view the situation, not just from a financial perspective, but from a psychological and emotional perspective. And what it really confirmed for me again, and maybe it's been a while and I needed this reality check, is that home ownership is not simply shelter. It is really a statement of establishing roots. It's a statement of personal responsibility, of privacy, and it's really a sense of being. And those are all the things that I miss by being a renter. And quite frankly, none of them had anything to do with dollars and cents. I'll tell you the good news is that our lease is up. In fact, let's see, actually it was up yesterday. We extended it just to the balance of the month. We decided not to build because I'm on the road all the time, and decided that wasn't too bright. We worked with our Coldwell professional, put the lot on the market, bought a resale, have it under contract, got an incredibly low interest rate loan from Coldwell Banker Home Loans, and guess what? We're closing tomorrow. And I must admit to you that my wife and I are almost as excited about it as we were buying our first home. 27 years ago or so. It's really that special. So I no longer underestimate the importance of that emotional connection that it takes with home ownership. And the fact of the matter is I'm generating 3 commissions, so we're doing our part to stimulate the housing market. Now, another way to look at housing prices is by kind of tracking them against median household income. And what happened is throughout so many years, what we found is a median price home was roughly 3 times the median income for the American family. However, again, if you look at the steroid years, you find that that percentage was way out of whack and went to 40 and 4.5 times that level. But what has occurred again is we're now down again to equilibrium. And if you take it a step farther, looking out 3 to 4 years or so, there's even now a conversation that we may end up with a housing shortage, simply because of the sharp decrease of new construction that's occurred in this country over the last few years. If you look at, on a trend line, there were about an average of 1.5 million units delivered, residential units on an annual basis in this country over the past so many years. The last 2 years, we have delivered under 500,000 units. So that means just in 2009 and 2010, collectively, there were 2 million less homes delivered to the market than was normal. And that helped absorb or offset some of the foreclosures that were entering the market, so it helped inventory to remain rather balanced. So, when we look at kind of moving forward, the balance of the year, what do we expect? And I can tell you that the second half of the year may not be exactly what we originally would have wished it to be, but it will go a long way towards making up for the first half, and will be a very different media story and conversation in the markets as a result of what we're going to see as far as performance. Expectations have been recalibrated. Buyers no longer expect to receive amazing annual returns. They simply want a great place to live, and they want an asset that's going to be a very good hedge against inflation. That's what real estate has always been, and that will be what it is once again. Now, these two projections here are from the ones that we look at, of course, most in our industry being an AR and Fannie Mae. And so if you look at it, they suggest we're going to end the year with unit sales slightly increased over 2010, most of that coming in the second half of the year. And while it shows that the price will be down year over year, what that suggests, based on what's happened in the first half of the year, is that we'll actually see price increases through the second half to average out to that amount. So, units will increase, prices will stabilize. And in doing so, we will confirm the fact that we have left what is known as the dreaded phase 4 of a housing cycle, where unit sales are decreasing and prices are decreasing. And we will have actually moved into the phase 1 of a completely new housing cycle, where units increase, prices always lag units. But once units increase to a certain point in time, prices will then start to elevate as well. So, despite what we've all had to deal with, the degree of negativity about our industry and what we do, remember that the American population has and will continue to be optimistic about real estate, and we should be too. If you look at a very recent Fannie Mae survey that came out, it was earlier this year, what they showed was this, and this was just to the general population. 41% expected price stability this year. And I think they're going to get it. 37% expected price increases. Now, those are all your sellers. Haven't sold their homes yet for top dollar and fast enough. 70% say that now's a great time to buy. And when you think about us coming out of the worst real estate market that any of us have seen in our careers, no matter how long you've been in the business, to say that over 2/3 felt that real estate is a safe investment. This is what the public thinks. And so, and if you look at even among the renters, you'll see a recent renter survey that came out from NAR that said that 72% of the renters that they surveyed indicated that owning a home was still the top priority. It wasn't that they didn't want to buy, it's just that now they were not in a position to buy. There is a huge difference between the two. So I would submit to you that I am extremely confident that the consumer will wish to own real estate going forward. That is no doubt in my mind. The only question becomes, do they have the ability to own real estate? And when I look at that question, I think one of the things that we're finding, of